Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So this is going to be a fun reading vlog where I'm going to read only books from the library. I wanted to do a video like this for a few reasons. One, because I want to use the library more. I do use it quite frequently, but I usually only borrow graphic novels and manga, and I want to borrow more like novels and stuff instead of purchasing them every time. I also wanted to like promote using the library more because I think booktube and booktok and all those different areas has become very centered on owning a lot of books, which I'm not here to like shame anyone that does that. Obviously I am a part of that. I have so many books that I've purchased and I've not even read, but I just feel like using the library, utilizing it more, should be promoted more. And there are a lot of great YouTubers and stuff that do that and do promote that, and I feel like it should be done more. So I thought it'd be fun to just do a little video where I only read books from the library. And yeah, I don't want this to come across like shaming anyone or anything, because that is not what I want to do. I think if it makes anyone happy to buy books and read them and having their own copies to have special editions, then that's totally okay. But I feel like there is a lot of overconsumption happening, not just on booktok and stuff, but other avenues like skincare and stuff and makeup and clothing. I've thought a lot this year about being more sustainable, about buying books secondhand, about buying clothing secondhand, and I'm not perfect obviously while doing so, but I feel like it's something that should be promoted more. So that's just my little tidbit on why I'm doing this, or part of the reason why. I also just want to read more from the library, and I have a bunch of books I've borrowed that I want to read, so I thought might as well just make a video like this. The overall message, I guess, of this video is that I think everyone should go check out their local library, get a library card, see what books they have. Also, a lot of libraries have like book clubs, craft clubs, communities you can be a part of, stuff like that. So just look into supporting your local library. I sound like I'm being sponsored by libraries right now. Now let's get into the books I want to read. So I'm going to go over my TBR before I get into the video. So I have 4 books here. I'm going to quickly go through them. I'm not going to talk about them too much. I'll probably talk about what each book is about when I actually read them. So firstly we have A Curious Beginning by, is it Deanna Rayborn? This is a part of the Veronica Speedwell series. This is like an 8-book series. They're all mystery romances and we're following, I think, the same characters. And I've heard really good things about this series. It's set in like the 1800s, I think, and I really want to read it. So next we have Char Time at Cinnamon Gardens. This I'm very intrigued to read. I'll get more into it when I actually start this book, but I feel like I have a lot to say about this book, so we won't get into it yet. And then I have the first and second volume in Olympus, the graphic novel series. So I've actually read Olympus volume 1, but I read it about a year ago. I think it was January 2024, so I've mostly forgotten what happens. I do remember there are quite triggering things that happen in this book, so please check trigger warnings if you're going to read this series. But it's a very popular graphic novel series that's set on Webtoon. It's based on Greek mythological stories, and it's like a romance between Persephone and Hades. So I'm going to hopefully reread the first one and then read the second one and then continue on the series without forgetting everything I read. So those are the 4 books I have planned to read. If I end up picking anything else up, I'll let you guys know, but I want to stick to this TBR. The book I'm going to read first in this video is A Curious Beginning. I've been wanting to read this series for a really long time. I have mentioned this quite a few times, but I borrowed this book about a year ago and I didn't get to it. And actually, I think in a reading vlog I made about a year ago, I had borrowed this book and Olympus, and I read Olympus. I didn't read this book, but it is finally time for me to get to it. I don't know a lot about the series. I just know that it's a romance with mystery. I think there's a new mystery that's explored in each book, which I'm really intrigued to read about. If I really like this book, that's an amazing thing, because I have like 8 books to read in the series. I'm very excited to finally start this book and see what I think. So I'll update you guys once I get into it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm very excited. I feel like I say that in every single one of my videos, but I'm very excited to be reading some fun books from the library. Let's get into A Curious Beginning. Hey guys, so I have a mini update of A Curious Beginning. I'm only on page 37. I thought I was at least on page 40, I guess not. But I thought I'd do a little update and then I could get into reading Olympus because I really want to read them today. It's a very gloomy day and I thought it was the perfect time to read these. So let's do my little update. I don't have a lot to say obviously, but I'm really enjoying it so far. We've gotten right into the story. Things have picked up straight away, which I love. I do not like when books have like a slow beginning. I like when we get into things straight away when it comes to the plot and everything. Obviously not when it comes to romance. I like romance to be more of a slow burn in my books. But we've already been introduced to a few characters. We know a bit about Veronica's life. She is a quirky character. We're living in the 1800s, I think, and she's very different from other people around her. She's very different from what she's supposed to be. She loves to adventure. She isn't a fan of the life of like settling down with a husband and having children. She wants to do her own thing. She wants to have occasional flings with men she meets abroad and stuff. She doesn't want to settle down with some old man and have his children, you know? So she's been embracing that life a little so far, but her guardian, who was her aunt, passed away and she's actually an orphan, so she doesn't know who her parents are or anything about them. Now she's all alone and she's decided to just move away and do her butterfly adventures. So she, don't remember what it's called, but I also know that I can't pronounce the word. But she has her butterfly net and she goes and finds butterflies and she hunts them and sells them, which hurts my heart a little. But I think she also does some scientific research about them and stuff, which reminds me of Emily Wilde, also reminds me of Half a Soul. All of these books are kind of similar with the way the characters are written, their little quirks and stuff, how they're different from everyone else, how they like to adventure and stuff. Yeah, so far really enjoying it, really intrigued to see where this goes. I know all the books have a mystery, so I'm curious to see what this mystery is. We have this curious character that's just come into her life who's a baron. He's trying to protect her from danger but can't explain what said danger is, and now he's offering her to live with his friend Stoker, who is the love interest, and we haven't met him yet, but I'm very excited. Also, the writing is older because it's set in an older time, but I feel like the writing is very on point to the time it's set, if that makes sense, because it feels like I'm reading a classic at some points. Even though this was written in 2015, I keep being like, was it actually? I don't know why. I feel like the writing is really well done to capture like the time period it's supposed to be in. And I've read quite a few books set in like the 1800s and stuff, and most of them have been pretty easy to read, but I feel like this is the most accurate I've read so far, where it actually feels like I'm reading a classic, but a lot easier, obviously. That's all I have to say so far. Let's get into Olympus. I'm going to reread volume 1 like I said. I'm not sure if I should count this towards my reading goal this year. I take any opportunity to add a book to my reading goal, so I probably will. I'm very excited to see where this story goes because I had been wanting to continue the series for so long and I just didn't have the chance to. So I'm very excited to reread the first book. I remember most of what happens, but I'm still iffy here and there, so I want to refresh myself. And then we're going to get into the second book. Also love the art style in these books, so I'm very excited to have a look at all of the gorgeous art. I love the pink and blue, this like specific shade. These books are a retelling of Greek mythological tales. I do not know the original stories very well. I know Persephone and Hades is like a really popular one, and so it's basically a romance between Persephone and Hades, but there's a lot of side characters and things going on in the background. I think if you are familiar with the original stories and stuff, you would enjoy this because I think there's a lot of humor that I'm not picking up on because I don't know the original stories, but it's still enjoyable to read and I'm still having a good time, and it's also kind of teaching me about the original stories. But I prefer reading the retellings and actually reading the original stories. Also, I think I mentioned this in my intro, but trigger warning, there is some very triggering things that happen in the first book. It's mainly one scene in particular that is very triggering. Please look up the trigger warnings. It's to do with SA and I did not expect it at all. I think I'd heard these books are a little dark, that there's some triggering things, but I didn't really expect what happened to happen. But yeah, just so you guys know, I think there's some funny bits, there's humor, there's romance, but it is also kind of dark. But I don't think it's like a dark romance where like the love interest, like Hades, is doing bad things to her. I think it's more experiences Persephone goes through, other characters go through maybe. Yeah. Let's read these books and I'll update you with my thoughts once I finish them. Let's get into reading Lore Olympus. Hey guys, so it's been a really long time since I last updated you. I do have valid reasons though. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the last time I updated you was just before I had work placement. I was doing a course in early childcare. I now finished the course, but I had 2 weeks of work placement, so I was super busy. I didn't film anything. I also didn't get any reading done. As soon as I finished placement, I got back into reading. I read Olympus volume 1 and 2. When I last talked to you guys, I did pick up volume 1, but I didn't get very far through it. When I finished placement, like the literal day, first day I had off, I was hooked by those books and I read them really quickly. Really enjoyed it. I enjoyed them so much that a few days later when I went to the library, I picked up the 3rd and 4th volume. I went home, I read the 3rd volume, and then I think the next day I read the 4th volume. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the series, and so now I have the 5th, 6th, and 7th volume. No. You look like my boyfriend. You look like my tall boyfriend. I don't want it. Don't give it. Put it in the bag for donations in the garage. Yeah. So I have 3 more books from this series from the library. The 5th, 6th, and 7th. Really enjoying it. I can't remember. I think I gave the first book a 4 stars, 2nd book 4 stars, the 3rd book a 4.5 stars, and the 4th book a 4.5 stars. Really enjoyed those. In the 4th volume, a lot of fun things happen. It's definitely a bit of a, it's kind of a slow burn. It feels like not a slow burn because I'm reading them so quickly. And because webtoons read really quickly, it feels like it's not a slow burn, but it kind of is at the same time. I'm not going to touch on more that happens in the series because I think it's more fun if you read it, but I'm really enjoying it. It gives the same feeling as when I read a webtoon on my phone, which makes sense. Yeah, I really enjoyed the series. I was having some second thoughts, I guess. I don't know. When I read the first book, I was Googling something about the series and I saw some people were saying how the series is really bad, the author, like, it was just very hateful. It was on Reddit, so I wasn't really surprised, but people were saying some pretty negative things about the series, which is fine if you have negative thoughts, but it was very, like, hateful, more than, like, just not liking the series. That made me think maybe I'm not gonna like the series that much, but as I've gone through it and read up to the 4th volume, I've really liked it. So I also saw someone mention that it's not very accurate when it comes to the Greek mythological retelling side of it, but I don't know how true that is. I think there's some maybe discrepancies where some quotes or stuff are misplaced and stuff, but as like a fun bit of media that's a modern retelling on Greek stories, I think it's really fun. I love the modern aspect. I love all the side characters and getting their stories as well. Yeah, there are definitely some characters I really don't like. One character that I hate, I think his name is Apollo, and he is such an awful character, and like I think you're supposed to hate him. I know like nothing about his character in like stories and stuff, but when I did ancient history in high school, which I wasn't in the class for very long, I ended up dropping out the class, but we did like this quiz to see what character we were, and I got Apollo, and he's so awful. Now I feel ashamed. I'm like, he makes me sick. Maybe that's just the way he's portrayed in this series, but I'm like, why did I get him? Anyways, there's also, I feel like all of the characters are very flawed. Some very annoying men. There's a lot of cheating and stuff going on, but the main romance is a lot of fun. There is a big age gap between Persephone and Hades. He's like a few thousand years old and Persephone is 19, but they're like immortal beings and stuff, so I'm like, would it be nice if she was a bit older? Probably, but I'm like, it wouldn't really make that much of a difference. So I'm really enjoying it. Also, like, seeing Hades, like, he sees a therapist because he's been through a lot of trauma, and we haven't gone through everything he's been through so far, but we see he's very depressed and sad, and he's the king of the underworld, which isn't a very happy place to be, but it suits him, I guess. And there was one chapter where he wrote a letter addressed to Persephone. He didn't give the letter to her, but his therapist said like you should say what you want to say to her, and he wrote this letter, and it was so good. The chapter was so good, the letter and everything. And I love him addressing his like emotional struggles and stuff like that is just a lot of fun. Also Persephone, seeing her character like develop a bit and becoming more confident in this new world she's in because she came from the mortal realm is a lot of fun. Obviously there have been some pretty bad things that have happened to her, unfortunately. That being said, I'm gonna read those volumes. I've been trying to save them because I did want to read more of A Curious Beginning, and that did happen. I have been reading so much of this. So while I was on work placement, I didn't really read much of it at all, but I've picked it back up and I've been reading a lot of it. I've been also reading a lot of it while I've been like traveling to work and stuff because I now have a job, yay, and all my breaks and stuff, which has been helpful because I feel like I've been struggling to find time for reading. So I've been trying to push myself to read while I'm traveling and while I'm on my break, and I really enjoy that instead of just scrolling on my phone. I am on page 195, so I'm about just over halfway. You can't really see. And I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what I should say. Veronica and Stoker are in the middle of a mystery right now. Someone has been murdered and they're kind of in the middle of it. They're on the run because they think they might be the next one to be murdered. They are also suspected maybe of being the murderer. Now they're traveling with this circus. We're learning a lot about, not a lot, we're learning a bit about Stoker's past, Veronica's past. Veronica is a very odd character, but I love her so much for it. I just love the way her brain works, the way she talks to people. I love her. And for some reason she reminds me of my grandma sometimes with the things she says, which is a little weird, but she's also like always being like, men are so stupid. They're not reasonable or logical and stuff, and I'm like, I love you, girl. I love you. Stoker is very interesting. He has a very mysterious past we don't really know about, but we know some bad things happened. And I'm really intrigued to learn more about what happened and more of his character, because I obviously know he's a good person at heart. And they've had a few close encounters where a kiss was almost exchanged and I was like on the edge of my seat. Yeah, I'm really excited to continue it. I am very intrigued to see where the romance will go in this book because this is such a long series. I'm like, will they be together in this book? Probably not. Also, is this mystery going to carry on for the whole series, or are they going to be like different mysteries that happen? I don't know. Yeah, they're both very smart characters. Veronica is really smart. So is Stoker. They fit so well together. And then we're meeting all these odd characters that are really unsettling to me. I don't like when we get like a circus setting in media, like in books or shows or movies. They creep me out so badly. In real life, I do not care about circuses. Like, I will go and have fun, but in like media, they are so creepy. Oh, I don't like the vibes. I feel like I might have been traumatized from American Horror Story this circus season. I didn't even finish it, but it was so creepy, and like the clowns, and I can't do it. We haven't had a lot of interactions with them, but we've had a few characters a part of the circus, like the professor and Salome. Like the way they come across just creeps me out. I don't like the vibe. I don't like it. I'm gonna stop rambling now. I also decided I'm not going to read the other book, The Char Time at Cinnamon Gardens, at the moment. I'm gonna pick it up another time. I don't feel like I'm gonna be in the mood for that book when I finish A Curious Beginning. So I'm just gonna read this book in this vlog and then all the Olympus volumes, which I feel like works out because even though I'm not reading another like novel, I'm reading so many graphic novels. So we're gonna finish A Curious Beginning and also pick up these graphic novels as well. I'll update you guys with my thoughts once I finish A Curious Beginning, I think, and then I don't know how many of these I'll read before I update you, so we'll see how I go. It's gotten very dark while I've been filming. I've been waiting for the sun to go down because it was way too sunny in my room to film. But now it's like too dark and I look a little red. I'll update you guys hopefully soon. Hey guys! So, I did forget to end this vlog. I can't lie. So, I think the last time I updated you, I spoke about Akira's Beginning. I have unfortunately come to the decision to DNF this book and come back to it later. I have not picked up this book at all. In the past few weeks, I have not picked it up. I've read like a page here or there. I've been reading it so slowly. I feel like the best thing to do is just put it down and pick it back up another time. I feel like I'm just not in the mood to read it at the moment for whatever reason. I was really enjoying it, like I said, but I feel like things are getting a bit slow and I'm just not picking it up. I decided I'm gonna put it down and come back to it, which is really annoying, I know. This vlog feels a bit like a fail because I didn't really finish any novels. I read mostly graphic novels. I did read those 2 volumes of Olympus. What volumes were they? I think 5 and 6, and I loved them. I loved them so much. Exciting things happened. They were so good. Anyways, I really liked them. I'm really excited to continue with the series. Definitely one of my favorite graphic novel series. Oh my god. So many exciting things happened. I love seeing the progression of Persephone and Hade's relationship. I feel like it's done really well. It's not rushed, but we also get like so many sweet moments, and Hades really cares about Persephone. There was also like some big conflict that happened, so it was really interesting to read about. Yeah, that's all for this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a bit of a weird one, but I enjoyed filming it regardless. You can check out my book Instagram if you like, also my Goodreads. They're both linked down below, and I hope to see you guys in another video very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye!